Looks like our water's boiling. The pasta's gonna cook till al dente in about 6 minutes. We'll be eating in under 10. You see this box right here? You can go ahead and forget about that box. It served its purpose as a child, but we're adults here. We're not animal anymore. Today I'm gonna give you the master guide, the formula to customizing mac and cheese however you like. And I'm gonna do that by showing you how I make stovetop mac and cheese my way with 4 ingredients in under 10 minutes. That will convince you that thick and creamy stovetop mac and cheese with no artificial preservatives, no artificial flavors, and no artificial dyes doesn't come from a box, it comes from you. So let's just jump right into it. Now, first off, the one caveat to my 10-minute claim is that the water to cook the pasta must already be boiling. And since we're gonna be using a double boiler technique, and this recipe is a formula, I'm gonna be showing you it for 1, and you can scale up to as many people as you want from there. So I'm gonna use a smaller pot for the water to cook the pasta in, and above it, I'm gonna use the 3-quart saucier to form my double boiler. The pasta cooks in the water below, and the cheese sauce gently cooks up top. With this size setup, you can cook about 2 servings. If you wanna scale the recipe up like it's designed to do, you could use a bigger pot, maybe a Dutch oven and something like a large saute pan, or you can even use a large frying pan. Regardless, have a little foresight to get the water boiling if you want to do it in 10 minutes. Now let's talk cheese. I'm going to use a little bit of a cheese blend. I'm just going to consider that 1 ingredient because you could use 1 cheese, you could use multiple cheeses. That's part of the customization. But my preferred cheese blend is a really good aged cheddar. This is a sweet red cheddar. I find it at Whole Foods, I find it at a few places, but it's not so aged that it becomes a hard cheese. It's still soft, it's meltable, but it does have an age to it. It has a little bit of those aged crystals in there and has a lot of flavor. And one thing the box doesn't have is flavor. And then we pair it with American cheese, which has the proper consistency that you want in a mac and cheese. It's that creaminess, the thick and creamy, not stringy. That to me is what is distinct about a stovetop mac. And a lot of you might scoff at American cheese, but let me explain. Now sure, American cheese is a processed ingredient, but it is made with real cheddar. The difference is to the cheddar, milk is added, and then another ingredient, sodium citrate. The YouTube channel ChefSteps recently made what I think to be a really amazing grilled cheese video. I'll leave a link down below. And they basically showed how to turn any cheese you want, a cheddar, a Gruyere, a Gouda, into an American style cheese by adding milk and sodium citrate to it to get that cheese that oozes out just like American cheese. Because like they showed, if you were to just melt cheddar cheese, eventually the oil kind of breaks and separates, which is what happens in a lot of fancy grilled cheeses that use real cheese. But by using the sodium citrate, it sort of binds those fats and those oils back together and allows it to be this creamier mixture that melts very much like American cheese. And since American cheese already has sodium citrate in it, we don't need to add anything to our cheese. However, if you wanted to use only cheddar, then go sign up with ChefSteps and get this formula for turning any cheese into a melty American style cheese. But today, the good people at New School American Cheese, a new American cheese company founded by Chef Eric Greenspan, they work to create a better American cheese, one that doesn't taste like plastic and more like a fine cheese, but has all the characteristics we love of American cheese. It's made with real aged cheddar, some butter, real cream, and of course, it has the sodium citrate. So today I'm going with the 50-50 blend, cheddar and the New School American cheese. You can use regular American cheese, you can use Velveeta. All those things are fine. They're gonna give you that consistency, the mouthfeel that you want. That's what American cheese brings. The cheddar brings the flavor. Now get out the parchment paper, a scale, a bowl on top of the scale, and tear it to 0. The parchment paper will help contain and transfer the shredded cheese. Then I'm gonna cut a chunk of the cheddar, see where we're at. We're a little under, so I'm gonna grate that chunk, then grate a little bit more, transfer that into the bowl to weigh. That's close enough. With the American cheese, the same deal. Cut a chunk off. But first, let's take a look at this American cheese, and it looks like real cheese. This is good stuff. Then grate some of that cheese, get it in the scale to weigh, and just add enough to reach anywhere between 210 and 230 grams of cheese total. I also shred a little bit more in case I need to adjust the sauce in the end, and also just to have some grated American cheese on hand. Then wrap up the cheeses and get them into the fridge. Then we're gonna measure out the milk. We need about a half cup or 130 grams. We wanna get that right into the saucier that we're gonna make the cheese sauce in. Next up, a lot of people will use macaroni or something like that, or the elbows. Cavatappi is my noodle of choice. It's like traditional macaroni, except the noodle's longer, easier to fork. It's a no-brainer. Need about 5 to 6 ounces. That's one portion. We got our pasta, our cheese, our milk, and some salt. So this is your basic mac and cheese formula. This is for one person. You can double it, triple it, whatever you need to do to scale it up from here. Looks like our water's boiling. The pasta's gonna cook till al dente in about 6 minutes. We'll be eating in under 10. Now at the stove with the water boiling in the sauce pot, add salt for the pasta and then place the saucier with the milk on top of the sauce pot. And I'm gonna set a stopwatch to show you how I'm gonna get this done in under 10 minutes. And then let that milk warm up for about a minute or so. We wanna make sure that milk is hot before we start adding cheese to it. After a minute, get the pasta into the water, give it a stir, then return the saucier to the sauce pot and begin slowly adding the cheese, a few handfuls at a time, making sure that the cheese is fully melted before adding another handful. If your heat is on high, make sure you lower it to a gentle simmer to make sure that the water doesn't boil over, and then keep working that cheese into the sauce until it's all completely dissolved. Now while the pasta's cooking and the cheese is slowly melting, it's a really good time to talk about the amazing pans we're using today thanks to our sponsor today, Made In. You see, this recipe uses a double boiler, so the pans and the pots you choose are important. And the stainless steel collection from Made In can't be beat when it comes to quality and price. Made In stainless clad pans are crafted in Italy and made of a premium 5-ply stainless steel material. And the 5 layers allow for superior heat retention, even heating, and ease of heat control. The handles are designed to stay cool on the stovetop and are ergonomical to help balance the pan. And for me, when I'm choosing a pan, honestly, steel, the handle is the most important. I want to make sure I have balance and the pan is secure in my hand, and Made In's handles are perfect. And the curvature of the walls are great for flipping, and the saucier in particular is great for pastas and for sauces to avoid spillage. It's simply my favorite pan I own. So if you're looking to get some stainless steel in your life, Made In is offering you guys 10% off your entire order when you use the link down in my description. So when you're done with this video, head on down to the link and get geared up. We're close to wrapping it up. So now we've added all the cheeses and the sauce is nice and thick and creamy, just as promised. Now, depending on what cheeses you use, some may have different moisture levels. So a few times during tested, I've needed to add just a little bit more cheese to get the right consistency and thickness. So if it feels thinner than this, add a bit more, but this looks just right. Season with some salt. Now I'm gonna taste the pasta, make sure it's al dente, and we can fish the pasta out with a strainer and add it to the cheese sauce. If it's the right consistency and thickness, try to drain as much of the pasta water out as possible, or alternatively, if the sauce is too thick, use a little bit of pasta water to thin it out. Then mix the sauce all together until that sauce coats each noodle of the pasta. Then turn the heat off, taste the pasta, adjust the seasoning one last time, and we're just about at 9 minutes and we're ready to serve. Get it into a bowl and make sure that bowl isn't cold, or else that sauce is gonna seize up fast when you plate it. And then get the mac and cheese into the bowl, and the result you have is a thick and creamy mac and cheese as promised, with everything you love and want from that old nostalgic box we all grew up on. But this time we have real flavor, and it's done in just about the same time. There is no reason for you to ever go back. Creaminess gives you the mouthfeel, that cheddar gives you the flavor that's addicting, that aged, addicting flavor of cheese. You just can't stop eating it. Recipe is gonna be down in the description. I must finish making love to this, but that's all that I have today. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself and go feed yourself.